Hello everyone, welcome back to Loadrunner Advanced Training Sessions. Today we are going to discuss about controller. What are the advantages in controller and other things. So controller, as you know, Loadrunner has three components. One is VUSN that we have completed as of now in my previous videos. Today we are going to discuss about controller session from today onwards. So controller is the heart for Loadrunner. So if you record your business process in VUSN, so that VUSN you can run only one user in standalone mode. You can't run multiple users with VUSN. If you want to run multiple users with VUSN, that cannot be possible. So to run your scenario like load test or test or endurance test or whatever test, you must need a Loadrunner controller. So Loadrunner controller is one of the component. So you can find it in your installation. Once you install your Loadrunner, you can find the controller option here. Double click this one, you will get this kind of window. So in controller we have many things. So let's start with simple scenario. So there are two kinds of scenarios. One is manual scenario, the other one is goal oriented scenario. In manual scenario, what you can do is you can design your own load whatever way you want. Okay, so like 10 users or 20 users, or you can customize the same way. So that is the reason they mentioned manage your load test by specifying number of virtual users to run. You can run for 10 minutes or 1 hour or 24 hours, whatever way you want. Okay, there is one more option, you can distribute the load even percentage mode. So those details we can discuss further going forward. Okay, and in our sessions most of the time we will be using manual scenarios. We will be using very rarely goal oriented, because goal oriented is the main goal is to achieve that goals, towards that goal. So we will see at the end of this session how to use in upcoming trips controller oriented goal oriented scenarios. Okay, so let's start with manual scenario. So and also one more thing before going to here, controller, if you want to run controller right with multiple users, you must need license. Okay, without license you can't run in your real project. You must need in Loadrunner. When you install trial version, you will get license utility. Try this one. If you see, if you look at Loadrunner license utility, mainly will get 50 users license. So that is more than enough. See, if you see community edition with 50, we have all the protocols, web and web Ajax, web services. You can try any application, any, by providing all the protocols with maximum of 50 users. Mobile, you can test mobile UI with unlimited users. There is no, you can even use JMeter also. In 12.62 they have added JMeter also. So you can add JMeter scripts and you can start working executing that with number of users here. If you have new license from your company, you can install here either license key or no community. So this install license key, or if you have license key, you can get as a bundles, like no, sometimes you will get as user wise 10 users or 100 users for web protocol, or you will get web bundle which will support all the web protocols, web services, all everything. Okay, so likewise you will get bundles also. So you can get more details from HP support team. So they will provide you all the details. So before running controller, you must need license. You have to check that. If you have in these trainings, we can't go beyond 50, because this application or trial version has only 50 users. So that is the reason I will run maximum of 50 users in my system. I can't go more than that. Okay, so that is one disadvantage we have. So anyway, more 50 users is more than good enough to run a load test or test or whatever test. So for now, if you want to open blank scenario, click here to open blank new scenario. I am going to select manual scenario, and I have Here there are many options. Go with Loadrunner scripts. If your scripts is not appearing here, go here browse button, and wherever you stored your scripts, you have to go to that particular path and you have to invoke them. Okay, so for now I have one script here. I will add this one here. Okay, and I will say OK button. So it will create a nice design with 2 tabs or 3 tabs. One is design tab and other one is run tab. We will see more details once it is opens. Okay, yeah, now design tab has come. Now run tab, and there is one more tab, diagnostics for J2EE and .NET applications. This again needs separate license. If you want to do more in-depth analysis like transaction response time, you want to find out where it is spending more time, which layer, whether it is app layer or whether it is database layer or it is application server or network layer. If you want to find out more details, you need this J2E diagnostics. This can be, again you have to contact HP to get more details. As of now, in our more videos I will be discussing about design tab and run tab most of the time. Okay, so let's start with design tab. In design tab mainly we have design scenario groups and scenario service level agreements and scenario scheduling. Okay, so we'll see each of them one by one. Okay, so coming to scenario groups, we can add as number of scripts as groups. Here if you add one script, they will call them as a group. Okay, so let me add this one. See, you can add this way also. You no need to add from starting, you can add from here also. If you want to add, go here, browse. If you want to add some script, yeah, like this, you can add them. Now I have added 3 groups. In always here we will call them as a group. Okay, so it will always by default comes as a scenario. Whatever script name is will be your group name. If you want to change it, you can change it. You can make as something some name, valid name. So some functionality like flight booking. Okay, or address search, something like that. You can give valid name also. Address search, so something like that you can give name also. Okay, you can change this group name also. This path is where your script is located. Okay, and by default this quantity you cannot change here in a real world scenario. I will talk about later. For now let it be with one user. Okay, and this load generator also very big topic. I can cover in upcoming sessions. What is the load generator? I will tell you in simple terminology for now. Load generator is where your users have to run. This one user will go and run on this mission. The local host means this is my mission. In this mission, the one user is going to and run that business flow, whatever you have recorded in Vusion, that will be simulated in this local host. If you give some other mission, the load will be simulated in that particular mission. Okay, if I give localhost 1, I should have some valid IP for that, so that it will go and run that particular user in this mission. Okay, load generator itself can define, it will generate the load, like whatever users you are assigning here, those users will go to this mission. They will perform your business process steps, whatever you have recorded in Vusion. Okay, so that is mean by load generators. Okay, so this we have a very big topic. I will explain you later what is all this mean by. So as of now I covered this topic. We can add, we can even delete the scenario. So right click and otherwise go here and click this delete group. You can remove group. Okay, you can even uncheck also if you don't want to run, but you may need to run sometimes. I may need this one to run after some time. That case you can disable this. Okay, no need to delete. Okay, completely. Okay, so this way you can do all the things in this part. Okay, you can design your scenario a very nice and beautiful way. Here you can't change any quantity. I will show you how to do that and all we can see later. As of now this is all about this one. You can add LGs from here, load generators, go here and add them. Whichever load generator you want, you can select them. So these all things you can do here. And let's move on to scenario schedule. Scenario schedule is a beautiful option where you can schedule your scenarios like smoke test where you can run for 20 minutes or 1 hour. If you want to validate your scripts for one iteration, you can do that. So you have many options to schedule. The schedule name also you can give whatever one you want. If you want to create new schedule, you can give. Okay, so even you can mention name also, load test or something. Okay, you can mention name also, schedule name. Okay, there are two types of schedules are available: schedule by scenario, schedule by group. Okay, so group I will discuss later. For now we will discuss schedule by scenario. So schedule by scenario is like all the groups will have single scheduling. So schedule by scenario means you have many groups, right? Let me add one more script. Now we will be having three scripts. Okay, so these all three scripts will have single scheduling. If you see here, it is mentioning global schedule. That means this entire scheduling will be applicable for all the three scripts. Okay, if you want group wise settings, then you have to go for group. If you see here, there are three groups, so that is the reason you are seeing in the legend three groups. You can see them. Okay, if you want only one group has to be visible, you can select them. Okay, whichever one you select, it will be, you can't disable that, remaining you can disable it. Okay, like that. Okay, if you want to change group wise, you can do the settings by going to group. If you want everything to be in single scheduling, you can go with schedule by scenario. This is all about schedulings. Okay, now we have run mode. There are two options: real world schedule and basic schedule. I will discuss first basic schedule because this is been there since Loadrunner available. So this is the basic option which is there for since Loadrunner came. Okay, this one came very recently, like 9.1. there is a classic schedule and later they changed to real world schedule and all. So the basic schedule is very important. This also we will discuss and we will see the difference between basic and real world schedule. Now I will move to basic schedule. Now I am discussing about schedule by scenario. In run mode I am discussing about basic schedule. In basic schedule again you have many options: initialize, start users, duration, and you will get stop users also. So if it is in run until completion, there won't be any stop users. If it is in other options like run for 5 minutes and all, then you will get stop users option. Okay, always remember, if you are in run until completion, you won't see stop users, because automatically whenever it scenario completes, it will go to complete state. Okay, it won't stop any users, automatically it will go to task state. Okay, that and all we will discuss later. Now what is mean by initialize users? So which option is best? If you simply double click this, there is a window will open. Okay, the action type is initialize. There are three options: initialize all V users simultaneously, initialize each user with 15 seconds of delay, initialize each user before it runs. What it does in initialize? So in initialize part, if you open in VUSEN, you can see there are three parts: VUser init, VUser action, VUser init action, and VUser end. VUser init will happens in VUser initialization part. Even though there is nothing, still it will work. So that means VUser init will run only once per user, only one time. If you have three users, 3 times only init will happen. VUser end will run when the users are stop users. When it goes to stop users, it will complete all the connection, closing everything in VUser end. Whereas initialization, it will establish script uploading to local load generators. All this activity will be performed in initialization part. It will initialize all the connections which are related to that particular user. Okay, like invoking all the runtime settings, invoking all the all the parameter files. Those things will happen in VUser init part. Okay, if we have some login code, that will also execute in VUser init part. So let me tell you one beautiful scenario, like sometimes you may need to record your script such a way, like no, there is a scenario in your real time, like your client wants to run your login only once per user, and he has to log out once he completes all the work at the end of the scenario. So he has to log in only once in a test, and he has to log out only once in a test. In that case, the best option is vUser init. You can record your login part, vUser end you can record your logout part, so that it will happens each user only one time. It will log in and it will log out only once after completion of your entire test. So remaining all part, in duration part, what it will happens is it will only runs your action part. If you have 3 actions, the 3 actions will be continuously running. Okay, if you have 5 hours duration, first iteration it will complete, so automatically it will go to second iteration. Why? Because you have plenty of duration, 5 hours duration, so it won't sit idle, it will keep on going for next iteration until it reaches 5 hours duration. Once it reaches 5 hours duration, it will stop the test, it will go to vUser end, it will stop all the connections, everything, and it will go to stop status. Okay, that is all about vUser initialization. So now we can discuss which is the best way to best option to select. So initialize all vUsers simultaneously means what it will does is it will initialize all the 100 users. Let's say there are 3 users, right? Currently these 3 users will go to init state at a time. Okay, so that is not good option, right? If you initialize, there is a example like you are running for 5,000 users. If you give initialize all users means all 5,000 users will start hitting at connectioning, opening connections to LGs, and it will be overhead for network. Okay, so the best option is go with initialize each user just before it runs. Whenever it is going to run state, just start initializing the user. Okay, this is the best option which I suggest you guys to blindly go with it. Okay, whenever you are doing some kind of load test or stress test, the best option for initializing is initialize each user before it runs. This is the best option. Okay, so go with it and click next. Automatically it will move to, if you see in the down, it is moving to start vUser status. Now start vUsers simultaneously again, all users will start running the your test at a time. Okay, all users will go to run state and they will start executing the flow. In real time, if you see, all the users cannot come at once, right? So slowly users will come to the application, then once they start 30 minutes, then everyone will start working. Okay, so that is the reason you have to always follow the production usage model. How in real production users are behaving, the same way you have to simulate the load test, stress test, endurance test, whatever it is. Okay, so this is the best option which I can suggest is go with every one user with 1 second of delay. Okay, this is also best option, one user 1 second of delay. Okay, so these options you can ask your client, like stakeholders, what is the options I have to use. Every one user, if they don't know anything, you go with your own options, like every one user 1 second or every 5 users 10 seconds kind of scenario. Okay, so here I am using one user 1 second, and let's go to duration part. In duration again we have 3 options. Run until completion. What this does is I will explain you. First we will go to run until completion. Run until completion blindly follows the your runtime settings. If you go here, you can see the runtime settings. I can explain you what is the runtime settings here, which runtime settings are important. Whether in VGen also you have runtime settings, even in controller also you have runtime settings. The final very important settings are controller settings are final. VGen runtime settings are just for verifying your script only. It doesn't do anything. Okay, in controller runtime settings are very important. You can override your VGen runtime settings. That is very important question in interview also. They will ask which runtime settings are very important. you can tell them views and runtime settings you can override. See, previously it was 3 iterations, I am making only 1 iteration, run only 1 iteration and stop. Paging, this paging is very important, we can talk about this later. I explained you already in one of my previous videos what is workload model. If you see there, I might have explained you what is mean by paging. Those settings I can we can give here. There is a separate session which I can explain you more details about this. Okay, for now I will move. Log also I will explain you which options are best. Okay, so for as of now I am keeping this. There is a separate session for this also, runtime settings, think time and everything. Only I am changing here is run logic. I am running only one time. After completion of one time, my script will go to stop status. That is mean by run until completion. I am going to disable them. Okay, so now what run until completion will do is, if you want to open this duration, double click here, so you will get this window. You can select whichever one you want. Okay, so now I am going for run until completion. Always remember, run until completion always depends on your runtime settings. If you give one iteration, it will complete one iteration, then it will stop your script. Let's move to 2 iterations. Now what happens is, see, there is one more option. Did you observe? If you go to real world scenario, this option will be disabled. Quantity you cannot update. Whereas in basic schedule there is a option where you can directly update this one. Okay, so that is the only difference you can see as of now with basic schedule and real world schedule, that you can observe here. Okay, in this screen. In scenario groups, what is the difference between both of them is, in basic schedule quantity will be enabled, in real world schedule quantity will be disabled. That is only one observation. Okay, you have to make. Okay, so now I have given 2 users, and how many iterations it will run? This particular script 2 iterations. So 2 into 2, it will run 4 iterations completely, and it will go to stopping. Okay, so now my scenario is ready. So now what I have to do? I have to save my scenario. So I will make it as a bit some valid name. Always give some good name, smoke test. Okay, and give date also if you want when you are executing. So before running this test, there is one more thing we have to do. Results. There is a results name. Go to results and results settings. You have a name where you want to save your results. Whether you want to save them in temporary results or somewhere, you go to browse. You can give where you want to store your results. For now I am using temporary only. I don't want to store anywhere, and you can give a valid name. Smoke test. Today's date 17/12/18. This is 17/12/18. So okay, what happened?